Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. As you can see, I'm working as I go. And we are here this evening for the Championship game week 4 review. We are live. So please let me know first off if you can hear me, if you can see me all okay. And let me know who you are following, which team you support. Be great to get comments as we go in the chat. Try and focus on the game that we're doing. We'll go through every single game. And guys in the comments, do me a favour. If someone comes in the comment later in the stream and says, has he done so-and-so yet? Can someone just answer them for me so I don't have to quickly go through that the whole time? Right. We're going to go through the results. Then we'll go through game by game, all 12 games in this game week number 4. As ever, first of all, we must give a shout out to fan sponsor Russ Peak, who sponsors this show throughout the season. Russ is a fan and now a friend, despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. And we thank Russ kindly for his sponsorship. And those of you who are following me on social media yesterday will know that I was at his club. I was at Norwich yesterday. So now, sadly, Norwich are bottom of the running order. It is the lowest ranked game this week. So do hang on. In fact, let me tell you, we're going to go Forest, Bristol City, then Reading, Watford, Coventry, Bournemouth, Swansea, Millwall, Luton, Wycombe, Blackburn, Cardiff, Stoke, Birmingham, Swansea, QPR, Borough versus Barnsley, Rotherham, Huddersfield, Brentford, Preston, and then Norwich, Derby. That is our running order. Today, hello to everybody in the chat. Let's bung a few of these up here. Getting Swansea. Langley is here. Kate is here. And here is here. The first of some, no doubt, happy. Excellent. Bristol City fans. Charlie is here. Charlie, as you'll know if you're watching, Charlie's a sponsor of the show. Had some rather crappy news health-wise. So great to have you back, Charlie. And I hope all is well. And please share in the chat, if it's not too private, how things are. Hi to George, QPR forever, David, John T, Matthew, Mike, Matthew without fail, either comments on my hair or my shirt. Tony is here, Chris, Nick, Jason, Gaza, Alex, everybody's here. Ryan, Lee, Lewis, John T, Iain, here, make me blue. Right, I think we're good to go, aren't we, guys? Let's, first off, we'll bring up the split screen and we will have a little, we'll bang through all 12 results. We should be able to see all of them there. It was Coventry 1, Bournemouth 3 on Friday night. Then in the early kickoff, the game I was lucky enough to be at was Norwich 0, Derby 1. The 3 o'clocks on Saturday went Borough 2, Barnsley 1. Warnock back for his 1500th game. Reading 1, Watford 0. Sheffield Wednesday 1, QPR 1. Luton 2, Wycombe 0. Blackburn 0, Cardiff 0. Rotherham 1, Huddersfield 1. Rotherham are dropping points late on in games. Oh dear. Swansea 2, Millwall 1. Forest 1, Bristol City 2. We're going there in a minute. Today, insane game. Brentford 2, Preston 4, and Stoke 1, Birmingham City 1. So, I think we are all set and we are all good to go. Have a little think as you go. We will try and do goal of the week and we'll try and do team of the week as well. We'll do that at the end of the show. First off, we need to do Forest Bristol City, don't we? So let's get everything set on the other screen. And it was yet another defeat for Forest and yet another victory for Bristol City. 4 in a row for Bristol City. They are our early leaders. And 4 in a row defeats for Nottingham Forest. Let's have a look at those teams there. Bentley, Viner, Moore, Mawson. So still getting by there without Thomas Callas and doing ever so well. Rowe, and Hunt. Remember, Nicholas Eliasson did leave on Saturday. No, on Friday during our watch-along, didn't he? So he is no more. Vyman, Bakinson and Patterson. And Martin and Wells, the new Sutton and Shearer, I think, of the Championship, doing absolute bits, aren't they, for Bristol City? And you can see there Wells and Vyman on the score sheet again. Forest, well, some stability. We wondered whether we'd get the completely new back four, and we did, because Nicholas Ianu, the new left back, started. So Samba, Krissy, Blackett, Ianu, Colback, Arter, Amiobi, Freeman. Alex Myton starts. No Joe Lolly again. Lewis Graben in up the top. And despite the Bristol City keeper, Bentley, making a great save early on, this is how it goes when you're either end of the table like these two. There is Andy Vyman. And despite there being 4 guys between him and the goal, he's going to very carefully just stroke that to Samba's left and into the corner. So Vyman from a Chris Martin assist, I think we'll have a look out for him. I suspect when we come and look at our assists or big chances created, Chris Martin is going to be right up there. And he definitely sets this one up as well. Look in the left-hand side of the picture there. That is Naki Wells. Little bit of a swinger, but it flies up and into the net. So 2 goals up. Went Bristol City. Sadly for Forest, the best goal of the game is scored here with Luke Freeman's right foot as well. We've spoken a lot about the fabled left foot. You can see there, he's absolutely miles out, but that is going to fly into the net and make it 2-1. However, that was not enough for Forest to take anything from the game. Bristol City march on at the top of the table, 12 points from 12. Let's have a quick little look at the numbers, see if there's anything revealing there. 51-49 to Forest in the possession, 20 shots to 7, 6 on target to 5. Always shakes out there, doesn't it? 11 corners to 5. Forest 1 big chance to 0 in Forest's favour. 407 to 404 passing. So perhaps the numbers tell us we had a reasonably even game, but the league table tells us we have one team absolutely flying, absolutely full of confidence, one team the exact opposite of that. And you guys know only too well when you have an even game between those 2 teams in those 2 moments, you know exactly what's happening, don't you? The team who's flying is going to go on and finish the chances and get the win. Alex says, only saw the highlights. Forest looked good. Lamucci will be sacked, surely. I was under the impression we were waiting for him to do his press yesterday, 40 minutes before we saw him. I thought he might have been a goner after the game, poor old Sabri. Lewis says, Forest have never won a game under Lamucci where they've had more than 50% possession. Yeah, they were the masters last season, weren't they, of winning without the ball. George, great team performance yesterday. Bentley was unbelievable. Yeah, check out that one save from Bentley early on to his right, header up into the top corner. Absolutely superb save from Bentley in the goal. Anything else up here? Jason says, good win for City, top of the league. On the highlights, Forest did okay. Be interested to see what happens at Forest. Managerial-wise, bye-bye Sabri, says Matthew. I think we're just about all there. Mike, Bentley won us that match. Well, if you're a Bristol City fan, you'll take it. You always get this thing at the start of the season where someone gets on a bit of a streak and you just got to keep going, bank those points. You never know what those points could mean come the end of the season. Could they mean, if God forbid, an automatic push? Could they be the points that get you over the line to the playoffs? Could they be the points that get you the top half? You never know. You just got to keep on that roll as long as possible. Does not look good for Lamucci, does it? But we've been saying that a while now. And we have 2 weeks off now, international break, going ahead to Friday, the 16th of October, where the transfer window properly shuts and we're back with Derby and Watford. So let's see. Remember, guys, it's normally international break number 2 when managers get fired. Not normally number one, but we'll see. We will absolutely see. Right, let's move on. Where are we going next? We are going to Reading and Watford. So I can cue that one up. Reading also with a untested Championship manager, winning their first 4 games and joining Bristol City up on 12 points. There you can see it was Reading 1, Watford 0. George Puskas with the goal. And I have to say, to the credit of Reading, they're doing it without John Swift now and Lucas Shaw. You can see Lucas Shaw on the bench there, though. He hurt his shoulder last time out. Reading lining up there. If anyone can tell me who Thomas Holmes is, the right back, never heard of him. Starting there. Laurent Rinamoto is standard. And Shane Aluko joining in up the top there. You can still find him as the number 10. Watford, look at the front two. Ismail Sarr and João Pedro, the highly rated, let's just say, front two. Otherwise, all as you were. Look on the bench for Watford, and there is William Troost Ekong, a very highly rated centre-back who has arrived. James Garner starting in midfield as well. He smashed one against the crossbar from a free kick. Get your thoughts in on this game. Reading 1, Watford 0. We have the goal up here. Strangely similar to one Zhao scored. I think it might have been last week. I don't totally remember, where he had to hold it up and pivot and hit. Now, Puskas is going to get a bit lucky here, because what you can't see is about to happen is that shot is going to take a deflection. He's going to try and hit it. And it sort of looks like it's going either at the keeper or to the keeper's right. But it's going to luckily take a nice deflection and fly in the opposite corner. So a little bit of luck with the goal. But Reading march on, don't they? Absolutely. Let's have a look at the numbers and see if they tell us anything about this. You can see there. Remember, that's Watford's first goal conceded in the league under Vladimir Ivic as well. So 56-44 in favour of Watford on the possession. 11 shots to 9, but Reading 4 shots to 2 on target. Moving down, 5 corners to 1. Hit woodwork once. No big chances stats there. So we assume there probably wasn't any. And the passes, Watford edged. So again, I think we can see in both of those Reading and Bristol City games, teams in good form, in good moments, win tight games, don't they? They just have that little extra intangible, whether you think it's confidence or spring in their step or whatever it is you want to say. Although you would say in this one, both teams were in good form, but it's Reading, who are on the winning streak. Interesting, 2 Serbian managers in this one. So congratulations to Reading. They join Bristol City up top. Watford looks slightly toothless up front, which is incredible considering they've got Troy Deeney, Andre Gray, João Pedro and Ismail Sarr. Incredible stuff, isn't it? Let's have a look here. Paunovic doing bits so far. He's perfect so far. Oh, good point, Mr. E. No, Ejaria. Yeah, probably, as big a loss as Swift and Zhao. You probably put those 3 amongst their best players. Reading playing some nice football at the moment. Terrified before the start of the game, knowing the injuries we had. Oh, Holmes is a centre-half playing over there at right back. Interesting. James says to win with the injuries we had was brilliant. Result of the season for us so far. They keep churning out the results. And Reading fans, congratulations. Brilliant. 4 wins from 4. Remember what I've kept saying. There is still a slight thought of results are just a bit ahead of performances. So if you're a Reading fan, you're hoping performances come up to results and the winning streak continues. Whereas if you support anybody else chasing, you think, oh, they've edged a couple of close ones here. Maybe there's a regression to the mean. All I'd say is prove me wrong, Mr. Paunovic. Brilliant start. So congratulations to Bristol City and Reading. 100% percenters at the top of the table. Look, 4 wins from 4 at any point in the season is well worth having, isn't it? Jamie says, Zhao and Sarah wingers, not straight. That's an interesting point, actually. And Ivic has gone with the front two quite a lot. It almost sounds like he needs to just stick Glenn Murray in between the two of them and have them playing off. But he keeps going for his 3 at the back, and unless he's going to go full on 3-4-3, which he might, maybe he'll find that might be the best way to fit in the two players up top there that we are talking about. Right. Coventry versus Bournemouth we need to do next, which was our game on Friday night on the watch along, which was great fun. Thank you to everybody who joined. It was a great game as well. And in keeping with Bournemouth's start, Bournemouth won and scored another couple of worldies. This is the such interesting thing about these 3 teams that lead the way with Bristol City. The manager's a bit of an unknown quantity. We don't know. With Reading, is there a sense they're edging tight games? With Bournemouth, they just keep scoring worldies every game. It feels like there's an argument for each of those 3 that are leading the pack here, that there are things that aren't sustainable and that maybe, you find a different way of winning as you go. Let's just bring up the split screen here. So for Bournemouth, the 3 at the back, pretty standard looking Bournemouth team now, but no Danjuma in this game. He's been so good so far this season. Begovic, Hembling-Cook, Rico, Smith and Stacey, the wing backs, Lerma, Cook, the other Cook, and Gosling in midfield, Surridge and Solanke up top. Coventry match that. Well, no, they don't really match that formation. There's more the 3-4-3 that maybe we suggested that Watford may end up playing. Morosi, Iain, McFadzean and Ostergaard, Darboe and Giles, the wing backs, Hamer and Sheaf with O'Hare and Shipley supporting Matt Godden. Let's have a look. I've got the goals up here. Get your comments in on Coventry versus Bournemouth, which we did on the watch along. There was the opening goal, and the first of the 2 worldies that Bournemouth managed to score in this game. That is Lerma on the edge of the box. Morosi in goal, looks positioned well. He's looking around Surridge, but unfortunately for him, Lerma is absolutely going to larrup that to his left, and it's going to fly into the back of the net. A really, really nice finish from Lerma there to make it 1-0. Coventry get back in the game. Spot the ball there. You can see Godden has put that to his left. Begovic goes the wrong way. Godden scores again. He is definitely doing the job at championship level. Bit of a lucky bounce there. You see Solanke in the middle of the picture. He's just had his shot blocked and it broke nicely for Gosling supporting. He just dinks it over. No luck in this one, though. Look at that. He's miles out. And again, the keeper's not actually at fault. You look at that in isolation, you think, you've got to be a goalkeeper's prerogative to save a shot from there. But he absolutely flies it to Morosi's right and over into the corner. So some more brilliant some more brilliant finishes from Bournemouth. They're winning games, scoring some pretty spectacular goals. That's my only reservation I've got about it. Can you just keep scoring worldies every game? This was very annoying. There is Steve Cook and Gustavo Hamer there. We went through the rules and read the wording of the law. This was a straight red for violent conduct. You can see the referee just to the right in the picture. For those people who say I sit on the fence about stuff like these, remember, it's subjective. And the IFAB wordy dancing around semantics on this one, when you actually boil it down to, was the contact between the hand and the face negligible? The only way you get off a violent conduct red card when you put your hand up in someone's face is if the contact is negligible. For example, if you went like this to me, there you go, boom, and, little tap on the face. So it's quite simple. I I'll tell you where I fall. I won't sit on the fence. I thought the contact was negligible, and therefore that shouldn't have been a red card. So if you think the contact was worthy of a violent conduct red card, fine. We've got no, no actual solid black and white definition of negligible. No force per square millimetre of hand on face or whatever. If you think it was violent conduct, you're not wrong. No one's wrong. It's another black and white, not black and white one that they kind of squidge out of in the wording of the rules. Hulk smash the like button, please do. Ashley says, I've underestimated Bournemouth this year. Started very, very well. I did in my predictions, if anyone takes any notice of them. I think Reading will feel confident the next 3 games. Borough, Wickham and Rotherham. Yeah, maybe the second and third of those more so than, we'll talk about Warnock and Borough in a minute. Nathan says, Bournemouth just outplayed us. No shame. 100 million team beating a 2 million team. Cov just have to move on. And this is something we talked about loads and loads, the difference between a team coming down from the Premier League with the parachute payments and the Premier League squad versus a team, or even worse still, the one that wins the playoffs in League One. The difference is just massive, isn't it? So it's good, though, because we've got high standards for Coventry, haven't we? So we expect them to do pretty well, I think. Matthew says, Martial got sent off. Look, guys, if we're talking red cards, I'm not interested in comparing one decision with the next. The only thing, if we want to debate it, which we probably don't because I think Bournemouth are going to win the game anyway, is just tell me whether you think the contact between the hand and the face, whether the force was negligible or not. That's really the only thing that's up for debate, isn't it? So there we go. My team is making me proud, says Ollie. Who do you support, Ollie? You have to let us know. Right. Let's move on now. We're going to Swansea versus Millwall over in Wales. We don't need to bring the numbers up there in the Bournemouth Coventry game, do we? Because we've got the watch along to go on, and a pretty solid eye test, I would suggest. Right, we're going to Swansea 2, Millwall 1. And there it is. Let me just have a quick swig of coffee. Just keeps me able to talk. Right, Swansea. Bender in goal. That's a rarity. Normally Woodman, isn't it? Guay, Rod and Cabango, yep. Bidwell and Roberts, yep. Grimes and Smith, yep. Gibbs White, yep. Lowe and AU. Very, very stable team selection by Swansea. Maybe that's helping the results. Millwall, well, similar story. Nice and stable with system and everything. Bradshaw keeps going up top there, and he gets a goal in this one. I think, someone will correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's unchanged for Millwall for the past couple of games, indeed. And you can see on the score sheet is going to be Bidwell and Cabango. I tell you what, I didn't look into the Championship Fantasy League, but Jake Bidwell would be your guy. I think he's got about 3 assists and a goal so far, and probably some clean sheets for Swansea as well. Here's a lesson. Play the ball, not the man. Now, who is that? Is that Marlon Romeo? One of our Millwall fans will tell us there. I can't see the number at all on his back. But he's clearly trying to play Bidwell, and Bidwell just wafts his foot kind of behind him and manages to force it into the net for 1-0. Here is Tom Bradshaw. Has to be a good finish to score from there. Smashes it through for 1-1. This one was a little bit ugly, though. You see Cabango there at the back of the picture in sort of shooting position. He's having about his 5th go putting that one in the net. But he does in the end. Now, we'll have a look at the numbers, but I think we all know in a Steve Cooper versus Gary Rowett game what they're going to say. 57-43 in the possession, 14 shots to 12. Millwall edged the on target 5-4 there, 7 corners to 5 in Millwall's favour. However, as I always say, big chances are revealing, although both coming from crosses into the box, to be fair. 2 big chances and 2 big chances to 0, including one of them missed. So Millwall just not quite creating enough by the sounds of it in that game. Let's get your comments up here. Right, Ollie supports Bournemouth. Yeah, they're doing great. Doing really, really good. And as I say about Bournemouth, they keep performing well. They keep winning. The only criticism I can have, which is a strange criticism, like I say, is they keep scoring ridiculously low percent chances, back heels and 25-yarders every game. But, you know, whoop-de-doo, you'll take them. XRGT wasn't able to watch Cov Bournemouth. Just curious from a neutral perspective, did Bournemouth deserve doing? Yeah, they did in the end, knocked them down in the end. Alex says, we were poor, outfought at times, which was worrying. Woodman was out with a stomach bug, says two people. Interesting. Hopefully nothing worse in these times. Gaza says, tough fixture, which we lost because we wasted the first half without attacking intent. The stats would seem to agree with Gaza's assessment. Yeah, it was Romeo, okay, at fault for the first goal. Yeah, it looks like Alex, he was playing the classic one of, I'm just worried about the man, and then you get embarrassed when he sticks his foot around and pokes it in. Scott Malone getting a game in the Championship. Worst fullback I've seen at Derby. Wow. Thanks, Nathan. Bad news for me as a Swansea fan. They're doing well, look like possible challenges. Alex adds, when we break, we don't get players forward. That's always been the kind of criticism of Rowett, that it's a bit too pragmatic, and sometimes you just have to go for it, don't you? And put some more attacking intent into your game. Quick couple of plugs, as you can see across the bottom there. You can support the channel and my ventures to try and make this a full-time venture for me via Super Chat. You can do that right now if you're watching. Go and subscribe over on patreon.com. We just put up today the behind the scenes. And God, did I meet some people yesterday. Mel Morris, the Derby owner I met. Krissy, who I've met a few times as well, was working there. Mick McCarthy was there. And a couple of my Connor, Michael Bailey, a couple of the Norwich journalists who I've met before as well. So all that's available over on Patreon. You can support amazon.co.uk/shop/the Benjamin Bloom football channel. And if you don't want to support financially or not in the position to, just hit the thumbs up button, get your comments in and hit that subscribe button. We are 2 or 3 away from 12,400 subs, so I can change that banner if it works. Right. We're moving on. We're going to the Kenny. We're going to Kenilworth Road, and it was Luton 2, Wycombe 0. Luton are in the 2 points per game team bunch group here. Get your comments in on Luton versus Wycombe. There is your Luton team. Again, all of these ones who are up at the top of the league were saying settled. That looks unchanged, other than Jordan Clark would be starting over Elliot Lee. I think that looks reasonably unchanged. Darius Charles back for Wycombe at centre-back there. Otherwise, Curtis Thompson coming in there in the number 10 position. Daryl Horgan starts. So he's trying a few different things. Gareth Ainsworth, sadly for Wycombe, none of them are working. Get your comments here. Luton 2, Wycombe 0. Wycombe still haven't even scored a goal. They've lost all their games and they haven't scored yet. So this is going very, very badly for the Chairboys. There is Pelly, Ruddock and Panzu. That is going to fly into the back of the net from, you can see there, about 25, 23 yards maybe with the right foot. And then later on in the game, Elliot Lee arriving for the cutback. He's going to prod that one into the net for 2-0. Let's have a quick look at the numbers and see what they tell us. Were Wycombe any closer to getting any points here? 55-45 to Luton, 16-5 on the shots, 6-4 to Luton on the corners, 4 big chances to 0. I'll say it again. Big chances made and conceded are very revealing stats, let's just say. And my phone is doing that annoying thing where it makes the mouse do something. Why is that? I don't know why that is, but there you go, 406 to 324. And that's the team Luton that are actually happy to complete less passes than whoever they're playing and turn the ball over nice and quickly and get those decisive, quick counter-attacks as well. But, not going well for Wycombe at all. Wycombe have had a favourable start with their fixtures but lost every game. So I'm convinced that, I'm not convinced they're going to stay up. Doesn't look good, does it? Nick says Wycombe started off okay but don't have a goal scorer. Very light up front. We created multiple chances, plus our final ball let us down. Should have scored many more. Looking good for Luton. They made a great start, as I said, in the 2 points per game. Gaza says, still saying 25 points at most for Wycombe, but 6 against Millwall. Yeah, there you go. Stephen says, it doesn't look good for Wycombe going to be a long season. It really doesn't, does it? And without fail, someone asked about Akinfenwa. Look, guys, you may see him on the telly a hell of a lot, but he's not, even last season, he wasn't an important part of that team. He's just the biggest kind of celebrity factor they've got and doing his TV stuff. Maybe when he's fit, we'll see him come on and do the last 15 minutes of a few games. But what is he, 38 or something? And being the sort of build he is, we don't expect him to play many minutes in a championship level football match. So please do not be distracted by the noise around Akinfenwa. It was never going to be an issue, was it? Blackburn versus Cardiff was a 0-0. So we have no actual goal footage to look at, but I will bring up the numbers. Blackburn stay in 6th. Blackburn from one extreme to the other, really, because they'd scored 9 goals in their previous 2 games and really ripped it up in an attacking sense. You can see there Lee Tomlin didn't last out this game. And looking at the numbers, well, we'll have a look properly in a second. Blackburn, Daniel Ayala is in now for Blackburn. Interesting. Otherwise, all very, very stable. And we've been enjoying the front 3 of Brereton, Armstrong and Dolan. So Cardiff doing a good job shutting those out. And Cardiff, that looks... yeah, they're very, very settled. So I suppose the idea that Harris has got there at Cardiff is just going to keep this really settled and the results will come. He seems to be saying, this is my first team and it will stay so. 60-40 on the possession, but hey, it's Cardiff and Harris, so they wouldn't be bothered about that. 16 shots each, 6-5, 5 corners to 6. However, look at the 3 big chances there for Blackburn. So... not having seen the game, looking at the numbers in very, very basic XG-led terms, which may not always be right, you would say if there was going to be a winner, it may well have been Blackburn in this one. Let's get your comments here. Alex says, what was Tomlin doing madness? I've not seen the incident. I've only looked through at goal stuff. So do let me know, Alex, what was the incident? Couple more there. Nathan says Wycombe just weren't ready for the championship. Still, Wycombe going down gives Cos more chance to stay up. Yeah, of course, Wycombe weren't ready. They barely, no one expected them to even get top 6 in League One, did they? So, I suppose they just take it as it comes. Wycombe need an out-and-out striker. Yeah, there's some pattern of play issues as well, first off. When Wycombe got promoted, I saw so many people excited about Akinfenwa playing in the Championship. It helped me work out which friends know their football and which don't. A forearm smash by Tomlin. What a volley on a Blackburn. I thought Harris was getting a tune out of him. And we have a score. A Villa, the dearly departed Villa, beating Liverpool 1-0. Who scored in? Let us know. Hey, let us know. Right, where are we going next? We're going to Stoke versus Birmingham. We'll just do one more on this. He elbowed Gallagher in front of the ref when he was already on a yellow, and Gallagher was in his own area. Sounds like he may have lost the plot. So this one was today because Stoke played in the League Cup, didn't they? They beat Villa on Thursday night, so their game getting delayed until today. Birmingham remain unbeaten and remain very hard to score against and beat, which is exactly what we predicted at the start of the season, isn't it? No 2 up top in this one for Birmingham. Hogan stays on the bench there. So more like, how they were lining up before Hogan even arrived. I think that's the exact team that played Brentford in the first game, other than Etheridge, who'd arrived since. So it looks like Aitor Karanka has got two different systems here, that if it looks like a more winnable game, he can go with an extra striker and one less sort of midfield-ish body. And if he's playing away at Stoke, who we expect to finish fairly high up, he can go with the one up top. So that sounds fairly sensible, doesn't it? Stoke, this is emerging as their first team with Fletcher and Gregory and Oakley Booth up top. Options off the bench, though, look. Surprised not to see McLean start. He's been so good for them. But the Stoke bench, the entire first 16, is strong, isn't it? Looking at the numbers. Well, let's look at the goals first before we do the numbers. Where are my stills, guys? They're over here. And that's a great header, actually. So that's from a Sanchez corner. Harley Dean in the crowd is going to manage to blast that header from outside of the 6-yard box over. Definitely a low % chance. That really good header from Dean. And then that is Nick Powell. I believe that's going to take a deflection, if I'm remembering this correct. Yes, I am. So he goes for the keeper's right, Etheridge's right, and it's going to take a deflection and just trickle into the net. So possibly a bit of luck in Stoke's goal there. Let's just have a look at the numbers. 65-35 on the possession, 11-4 on the shots, but only one shot on target each. In fact, 5 corners to 4, 1 big chance to 0. 6-28 on the passes to 3-4-5 in Stoke's favour. So looked like a fairly tight one. I guess if you're Karanka going away to Stoke and, it's still a parachute team and it's Michael O'Neill and they're hard to play against and hard to beat, you take a point. But how late was the equaliser? 86, I suppose. Playing the actual context, maybe disappointed not to win, but they are unbeaten and they are hard to beat, which we expected them to be. Robert says, bit gutted, Birmingham couldn't keep clean sheet. Stoke, probably a fair result. I think it's going to be a tight game season. Yeah, happy if relegation not an issue. Interesting. John says, Borefest, but a fair result. Gutted to drop to him. Yeah, that was what I didn't watch it. I guess these two guys have watched it as well. Lewis says, love Karanka, will do wonders there. He's certainly doing well, isn't he? Robert, wasn't exactly exciting stuff. I think a lack of attack will be a problem. All good comments. Guys, big deflection for Stoke's goal. Abel, let me just take a swig of this. Abel says, Stoke won't be doing anything special this season. Very ordinary. They were ordinary for vast parts of Michael O'Neill's tenure last year, but the actual points were very impressive. So don't be deceived by them being a bit pragmatic and a bit ploddy, but still, 1.6, 1.7 points per game, A Villa really 2-0 up. Holy hell. Go the dearly departed. Go on, Villa. Watkins has scored again for Villa, 2-0. Brilliant stuff. Better to win one, lose one than draw two, says David. I agree with David. I don't think Aitor Karanka does, but there you go. It's a Watkins double. Well, we should celebrate here. He's one of ours, isn't he? As we're a championship channel here. Ollie Watkins doing the business against the Premier League champions, Liverpool. They can thank us in the championship for training him up, hey? Getting him ready for that. Loads of good championship players in Villa's squad now. Right, we're going to Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday versus QPR. A similar pattern in this one, as in a 1-1 draw with an even later equaliser. This one, 96th minute equaliser. Let's just bring the teams up there. So get your comments in on this one. Wednesday, what are they on now? Is it -7? So they've scored 5 points and eating away slowly at that -12. That's such a hindrance, isn't it? Looking through that team, Adam Reach at wing back. Goodness me. And Deli Bashiru in. Where was Izzy Brown? He doesn't know. He's not injured, is he already? Windass and Callum Patterson does indeed start after arriving there. Tom Carroll, that far forward? Interesting. Still no sign of Ryan Manning for QPR. Let's get you guys a look at the stills for the goals in this one. That looks like a cut across. And is that Windass in the middle there? Looks like it. And I think Larbey can't really do anything other than stick it in his own net, or Windass is going to put it in anyway. So I think they've torn through them fairly for the opener. And this is Macaulay Bonne. And for my sins, I haven't done a transfer update since, I think, Thursday of last week. So we haven't even spoken about Macaulay Bonne going across from Charlton to QPR. So we will try and do, what have we got tomorrow? We've got Dearly Departed review to do tomorrow. And we'll do transfer update as well as we go in. Well, in theory, the transfer window closes. It's tomorrow, isn't it? Monday the 5th. But it's just an irrelevance, isn't it? Because the Premier League to Premier League transfer window closes, and we're all waiting to see what happens with the big name, big high-valued Championship players on that day. Sorry, I'm rambling now. Get your comments in on Wednesday QPR there. Let me just scroll that up a little bit. Have a look at the numbers. Yeah, 96th minute equaliser. 56-44 in QPR's favour on the possession there. 11-9 on the shots. 7-4 on the corners for QPR. One big chance to 0. Hit woodwork once each. Again, we'll peddle the logic like we have on a couple of other games. Tight game, but when you're 1-0 up, ticking into the 96th minute, you'll hope to go ahead and win the game, won't you? Let's see if we can get any comments here. JC Dog says, Tom Lee's been very good. Shame you had to go off. I was thinking of you, Alex, when I saw that Bonne had scored. I said Bonne will miss loads of chances. He scored with his first chance. That sounds like one of my predictions. Abel says, Reach had a good loan season at Preston. Good Championship player. He went for a stage, didn't he, Abel, of scoring worldies every time, didn't he? So Brown is injured, is he? Oh, dear. Dear oh me. Kicking the teeth for Wednesday yesterday, especially in their position. This Championship, Lewis, isn't it? You know there's going to be at least 2 injury time goals every game week, don't you? QPR says, we were lucky to get a point. Happy with Bonne. 1 chance, 1 goal. Great header. You love to see it if you're a QPR fan, don't you? And it's a bit of backup and something a bit different to Lyndon Dykes, isn't it? It does kind of smack of what Warburton did last season, where he had Hugill and Wells as the big guy and the maybe more mobile guy. It is a drop-off in quality from Hugill and Wells, who are, have gone to Norwich and Bristol City, to Dykes and Bonne. But let's train them up. Let's see how they go. QPR Forever says, signing 2 to 3 tomorrow. Manning has to go, but if no one comes in for him, what then? And Manning's the sort of guy that one of these teams, i.e. Bournemouth, Norwich, Watford or Brentford, who are waiting for possibly a load of money to come in and a big player to go out, could then afford championship to championship. So be an interesting one with Manning, wasn't it? Brown's career hasn't gone great since leaving Albion, has it? It's just that, George, I think the thing that's frustrating with Brown is he shows these flashes of how, over 5-10 games, how good he can be. And then he gets injured, doesn't he, all the time? So there you go. Right, we've got 4 to go after this. If you will indulge me, we're just going to do a quick little plug if we can. As always, support the channel, like, comment, subscribe. Fantasy League is over there, T5QBR0. You can get all of these shows on podcasts. I need to catch up with the feed, actually, upload a couple more there. And shop on Amazon and subscribe via Patreon. And there are still a couple of fan sponsorship opportunities open on the Ask Away shows and on I've Just Witnessed and on our... No, Charlie's got the live watch-alongs now, hasn't he? Yeah, so, still a couple of opportunities open there. But please do go over and support via the Patreon. Right, where are we going? We're going to Middlesbrough versus Barnsley and Borough. As I said, Neil Warnock's 1500th game. And Warnock gets the win in this one. Is it going to be a classic Warnock when we look at the numbers? I hope so. He wouldn't have it any other way. Would he? There are the teams. Akpom remains up front. I guess Fletcher must be injured. Morsey starting in midfield now with Saville and Howson. Boller coming in at wing back with Tavernier on the other side. So starting to shape his team. Barnsley, for all the plaudits we give to Gerhard Struber and his links away to New York, are not winning games, are they? And they've lost again here 2-1 in this one. I said Rich Meyer might come back in, didn't I? And that would be the change. Krissy coming in up top as well. Let's have a look at the goals. Where am I going? There we go. There is the opener. That is Johnny Howson, isn't it? Set play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Barnsley defenders and the Barnsley keeper watching with Howson on his own in the box. He's going to volley that one home for 1-0. And there, from the rebound, the only one awake, the wide awake club, as Ron Atkinson used to call it, in the box, is Chuba Akpom, who scored 2 from 2 for Borough. That's looking like a decent signing, isn't it? That's Woodrow, isn't it? Sending the keeper the wrong way for 2-1. But like I say, we like Struber. It's very fashionable to like Struber, but win some games as well, wouldn't they? There's the numbers. Yes, Neil Warnock, 38% possession. Love it. And he gets the win. And still, look, 6 shots on target to 1. There we go. Lies, damned lies, and football statistics. As I always say, big chances are always revealing. 3 big chances to 2. And we all know in a game between Struber and Warnock, you can have the ball as often as you like. But if you cannot defend crosses, throw-ins, and you cannot get your game going with the restarts being slowed down, then you will not win against Neil Warnock. And he's beaten many a better manager than Gerhard Struber, hasn't he? So what else have we got in the comments here? I'm looking forward to tomorrow because it is deadline day. Yes, we'll see how we go tomorrow. Lewis says, Struber agreed to go to America. Can hardly blame him. Where would you rather live, Barnsley or New York? Yeah, it's not just about where you're going to live, is it? It's about the route. You know, someone like Struber seems very ambitious. It's the route to where you want to get to. And we just wondered whether he'd, in the end, get one of the high-end championship jobs and find his way up there. But I think he wants to go down the Red Bull route, doesn't he? James says, Struber called out the board after the game. Let me know. What did he say? What did he say, James? Be interested to know that. Warnock will be one of my favourite managers. Got the best out of Tarabd when someone like Redknapp couldn't. Yeah, I love Warnock too. I watched a Barnsley stream and he says the manager should be sacked for putting out this team. Really? Interesting. I saw virtually that team play at Reading and thought they would have won the game if they hadn't had 2 red cards. So, not entirely sure about that. I thought the team made sense. So, there you go. Each to their own. From these games, my relegation prediction is going to have to include Barnsley and Wycombe. Barnsley to go down. Well, hey, they haven't been winning. If Struber goes, then, yeah, there could be some trouble there. Commented on their lack of ambition. Well, remember, the Barnsley hierarchy have been very, oh, no, we're not going anywhere near FFP and we're going to do everything by the book. So I'd have to read the quotes. But, yeah, again, I'm not sure they've lacked ambition. Players have been brought in that he's... if you can compare it to someone like Millwall and look at the spend and how much players have come in, doesn't feel that much different. And Millwall are up there finishing in 8th last season, aren't they? So, I'd have to read the quotes. I'll plead the 5th until I've read the quotes, yeah? Rotherham, as I said in the intro at the top, they seem to be the last-minute team, don't they? Having beaten Wycombe on the opening day in the last minute. They lost to Millwall, then 2 goals in virtually the last minute, but basically against Birmingham, and then a late equaliser in this one, 90+6 again. What a sickener for Rotherham. And in the last 2 games, they've essentially, and I know we had a fun debate about this, about dropping points and, you don't actually get the points until the game's over. But this idea that, you were in the lead and you had the points at one stage during the game. So Rotherham, if you buy that logic, have dropped 4 points in the last 2 games. Thank you so much to Robert for the super chat. I'll drink some lukewarm coffee to you, sir. Thank you, Robert. £5 super chat. Very, very kind. That will help with the petrol, the diesel to Norwich yesterday. Very, very kind of you, sir. Right, let's take a look at the Rotherham goals, or the goals in the Rotherham game, indeed. There is, oh, God, dearie me. Do your research, Ben. Ben Wiles, for goodness sakes. Smashing in the opener. Oh, my God. What a nightmare minute I've just had. Right, put the right goal up, identify the right player. Ben Wiles on the right foot from way out there. That's a 30-yarder, isn't it, to give Rotherham the lead. What minute was that goal in? On 33 minutes. So they led, talking about dropping points, they led for a very long time in this game, over an hour before this happened. And it's just, ugh. So that is, look in the bottom of the shot there, that is Pippa, who's hit the shot that, look at the angle of Pippa, the number 2, and the ball. That's clearly going wide, isn't it? We can all see that even from a still with the angle of player and ball. And McDonald, if he leaves that, it goes out for a goal kick and Rotherham win the game. But he's going to waft the left foot at it and put it in the only place where Jamal Blackman wouldn't be able to save it. So a really horrible own goal for Rotherham right at the end of the game there. Pretty brutal, you would have to say there. Naby Starr, you can see, making a debut there at the back for Huddersfield. Let's have a look at the numbers because they are quite revealing. 74% possession, Corberon v Warne. We would have expected it to be in Corberon's favour, but wow, 11 shots to 5. Only 1 shot on target out of those 11, though. Sounds like a team keeping the ball and not creating any chances. 6 corners to 2 in Huddersfield's favour. 1 big chance to 0. Where's the pass completion? 511 to 189. Look, we knew exactly what would happen in this game. Rotherham are very well practiced in their system. Huddersfield are not yet in their system. The two systems are very different, aren't they? Huddersfield seem to want to play through fullbacks, overlapping, underlapping, pass, create tap-ins and score. Rotherham more, they've played 4-4-2s with wingers, direct, good on set plays, not too bothered about pass. Just want to create some chances and score some goals, don't they? So we knew this, and Rotherham, you just don't want to look at the end of the season and see Rotherham in 22nd place go down and, they're 2 points off it or whatever. And you think, remember back at the start of the season when they conceded those 2 really late goals to when they were in winning positions in a row? You wouldn't want that, would you? Let's have a look here. Oh, Gaza. Thank you, sir. £5 super chat. From Gaza. Brilliant. Thank you, sir. Stephen says Rotherham have dropped 5 points if you count the Millwall game. They never led in the Millwall game. In that case, everyone drops a point every game, don't they? Because it starts at 0-0. Iain, 3 goals conceded in 4 games, though. That's a good point. 1 a penalty, not too shabby. Yeah, that's a good point. That's how Rotherham will stay up. Nice and tight, difficult to play against, etc. Ollie Watkins has scored a hat-trick. Are you kidding me? Please tell me. Yeah, no, there's too many people saying it. Villa are beating Liverpool 4-1. It's weird without fans, isn't it? Barlassa, yes, we do need to do a transfer update. I'll do it tomorrow. I promise, although things are going to go mental tomorrow, aren't they? So, yes. I mean, Iain says Barlassa will help us possession-wise. I bet if you said to Paul Warne, you'll have less possession when Barlassa arrives, but he'll create you 10 chances during the season. Paul Warne would have the 10 chances, wouldn't he? I wouldn't ever judge Rotherham or anyone who wants to play in that way on possession. It's all about, keep saying it, not conceding big chances and creating your own. And if they can do that with 30% possession, great. Remember Cardiff getting promoted with 30% possession. Thank you just again quickly to the two super chatters there, Robert and Gaza. Very, very much appreciated. And those guys are always in the chats here helping out as well. Really good guys. Right. Let's have a look at this ridiculous game between Brentford and Preston. Complete insanity here. 4-2. Preston are going to win at Brentford. And Brentford were 2-0 up as well. So Brentford falling to their second defeat of the season. Incredible. Let's have a look at the teams there. So Brentford, David Raya on the bench, having signed a 4-year deal. Rico Henry's still not around, so Dominic Thompson plays at left back. Otherwise, nice and strong-looking team. And, look, Jensen, Godos, Force on the bench with Fosu and Said Benrahma after his... I was clipped on Twitter getting very excited about his second goal in the League Cup game against Fulham. So he's not been sold, but they're obviously not starting him for a reason. So Preston, Ledson and Pearson in midfield there, which means Brown gets to play his preferred 10 position. And both Ben HD and I on the channel on Wednesday were saying, Preston could up the ante really, up top, bring somebody in, maybe sell one of the big names and they'd have more goal threat, and they score 4 goals in the next game. Of course they do. Let's have a little look at all of this stuff here. One player proving me wrong slightly is Ivan Toney, who has now started scoring for Brentford. So that is good news, although Ollie Watkins apparently has a hat-trick in the other game. Also, when we bring up the big chance creators, look at the left-hand side of that picture. You'll see Josh Da Silva, who started the season really well in terms of chance creation and assists. I think that was Brian Mbuemo plays Toney in for his second. So nice to see Ivan Toney getting going, but wasn't enough, was it? Let me just check my goal scorers in here. Sinclair's going to get 2, then Potts, and then Maguire. So there is Sinclair getting his first. There is Sinclair getting his second to equalise. And then Brad Potts, quite clever goal. That is the keeper's unsighted. It looks like by Dalsgaard possibly. But he's going to play the gap to Daniel's right when they all thought he was going to pop it to his left. And Sean Maguire scores number 4. By God. Brentford 2, Preston 4. Get your comments in on that one. All not appearing to be well there in a number of these teams. We'll talk about Norwich in just a minute, where there's a little bit of chaos with will they, won't they transfers. It just does not help, does it? So look at that on the possession. 57-43 on the possession in Preston's favour. 13-12 shots to Brentford. 7-4 on target to Preston. 4 corners apiece. And then look at it. 3 big chances to 2. And 4-8-6 passes to 3-7-7. It looks like Preston deserved that one, doesn't it? Doesn't look like a smash and grab and just a Brentford collapse. Looks like over the course of the game, the numbers, I didn't watch the game, so if you watched the game, let me know different. The numbers say decent from Preston. Let's have a look here. Alistair says, that was incredible. Brentford just collapsed. Spoke volumes. They got in a huddle trying to work out what had gone wrong after the second. We smelt blood after that. Tremendous stuff. Ashley says, I think Thomas Frank's the best manager in the Championship. Hopefully Brentford don't do something stupid and sack him. Interesting. Abel, watched the Preston game. Preston had most of the ball. 2 great breaks from Brentford. The stats would seem to agree with your review of that, Abel. Did back up the possession and the chances. So yeah, interesting. Lee says Villa winning with 26% possession. I love it. I absolutely love it. Some people get all snarky with me about XG, and we've had stuff. I love, excuse me, nothing more than teams being 4-1 up with 26% possession and not even, it's not recurring, a positive XG. I love trying to fathom out what the hell happened. Excuse me, hang on. Oh, sorry. I'm choking on 26% possession there. Oh, excuse me. Ben Pearson's a player I love at Millwall. Yeah, I think he might be going a bit higher than the top of the championship. Pearson, Ledson, Brown, Potts, good midfield. Like it a lot. Weren't overly impressed with Brentford against last week. Should have beaten them. Brentford's defence looks poor this season. Alistair says we were excellent. Brentford didn't touch the ball second half, but it was one of those games you just can't explain from both sides. Well, hey, I was expecting Brentford to now go on one of their where they win for 15 games, or 2 points per game for 15 games, which is normally followed by a 0.8 points per game for about 7 games, isn't it? So, right, finally, the lowest ranked game of the weekend is the one I was at, which was quite the occasion over at Norwich. It was, and again, sign up for Patreon to see my behind the scenes look at behind closed doors football. It's very weird, but fascinating to be able to hear the players talking. Really, really is. Let me go to the split screen. So Norwich, now without Ben Godfrey, bring Ben Gibson in at the back. And as I wrote in my report for Prost International today, they go back to what got them promoted. Hernandez, Steepman and Buendia starting his first game off Teemu Pukki. Koku got this bang right, and his plan worked an utter treat. Couldn't have worked any better. They got a little bit lucky, as the numbers will seemingly tell us, and the eye test will tell us as well. But hey, which shows it when I say I love it when a plan comes to pass. I don't know, it's like 18 or something, I don't know. So really a 5-4-1 sofa score. I've got that right. I can tell you that firsthand from staring at the pitch. And as I say, it worked an absolute treat. We had Teemu Pukki slipping over to smack a penalty against the bar, which was just jaw-dropping. Max Aarons then has a good chance and David Marshall saves it. And you can see Emi Buendia has a massive strop when he gets substituted. And then Derby get a free kick. And as I said in both of my reports, once you go to a dead ball, you take physicality out of the game, which means the fact that Wayne Rooney is 34 is now irrelevant, and it's just his technique. And there just is no better player technically, is there? Look at that. Just going to swing the free kick, 88th minute, right over the wall into the top corner. I felt very, very lucky to see a master at work there. He's had such a great career. I don't know how many more times he's going to win a game with a last-minute bit of brilliance like he did there. But superlative goal from Rooney. And the plan works. And the Norwich fans are not happy. And the Derby fans are, after 3 straight defeats, things starting to try and pick up. Let's have a look here. Any comments on this one? Nick says, you were in the ground, were you? Yes, indeed, I was, Nick. Very lucky to be there. Lewis says, absolutely fantastic from Mr. Koga. Got his tactics spot on. Thought Shinnie and Knight were excellent in midfield. Jason Knight's such a talent. We should say it. It's not recurring. Let me just have another drink quickly. Sorry. Jason Knight, when I saw that, Lewis, in the lineup, I thought, oh, that's a step down from Max Bird, because I think Max Bird's better than Jason Knight. But Jason Knight was superb. And it's a brilliant break for the goal there. Look, I don't see Derby playing too many games like this. Maybe away at Norwich, away at Bournemouth, away at Brentford, or teams that are going to keep the ball more than them. But it worked. You have to be lucky in these defensive games. And of course, Pookie slipping over for the penalty and Marshall playing well. But brilliant. Yes, it is the A team. Love it when a plan comes together. Brilliant. Much more intensity in play, defensively stubborn as that. You would suggest it was a bit of a passive approach from Koku, but it won, for goodness sake, wasn't it? It was very much, look, Norwich, try and break us down. And if you can, you'll win the game. But we're going to try our best to stop you. Oh, and by the way, we still have Rooney if we get a set play up the other end. Come on, Ben, just admit it. You gave the Rams some divine intervention with your presence. Not sure I did. It's just that it just couldn't have been more perfect how it played out for them, wouldn't it? New number 9. Looks like it's going to be Charlie Austin. Interesting. That'll cost you a bit in wages, won't it? May have lost his pace. Free kick sublime. Absolutely. Sean, your legend. Sean's on Patreon. A €5 super chat. Sean, we are going to be filming Dearly Departed tomorrow. And apparently I'm going to be talking about Aston Villa beating Liverpool. I know it's still going on. Someone will keep us updated there. Waghorn, Bielik, Lawrence, Ibe. There you go. Exactly, Lewis. It's, they're not going to be that passive and, in the words of Gerhard Struber, wait for something to happen. So, Liam, don't you know, pump it up? Holden is taking us up. Well, at the moment, Bristol City are on for 138 points, aren't they? And win every single game. And Chris Martin will be... there you go. Tom says, what do you think of Chris Martin? He will be the Ballon d'Or winner, the way things are going for Bristol City. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. It's all I would say. A 4-game winning streak at the start of the season. Right. After all that we've been through, who sings that? I will make it up to you. Should we have a look at the league table, guys, and see how that has left everybody going into international break number 1. Remember, we've been doing this here a long time, and generally speaking, it's international break number 2 when managers get sacked. Dearly Departed will be out tomorrow, the review. In terms of a stream, a watch along, possibly Sheffield United and Fulham play in the next game week. So, but the show will be out tomorrow, so you can take a look there. 60 grand a week for Austin. Wow. Anyway, we were just going to I'm interrupting myself here. Bring the table up there. So, Bristol City and Reading, sensational. Absolutely sensational. 4 wins apiece. Perhaps Bristol City a little bit more consistent with the performances than Reading, but look at that. Reading, 4 wins, 7 goals, 1 against. Outstanding stuff from both Holden and Paunovic. Bournemouth, just that 1 draw in there. That was away at Borough, wasn't it? The only issue I have with Bournemouth, who are playing very nicely, is they keep scoring worldies, like I say. You cannot... I made 5 of their 8 goals were absolutely brilliant. You cannot score amazing goals every week, can you? Swansea, 3 wins in 4 as well. They are on 10 points. And look, very settled. I still feel they could do with an actual striker rather than Jamal Lowe and Andre Ayew up top there. Luton, brilliant stuff. They've only lost to Watford in there, haven't they, Luton? So carrying on where they left off last year. Blackburn up there on 7 points with Watford as well. Birmingham, so Birmingham on 6, unbeaten under Karanka. QPR on 5. Middlesbrough on 5. Just take a little look at Middlesbrough, though. They've only lost away at Watford and they're unbeaten in the other games. Just remember who's managing in Middlesbrough is all I'll say. Millwall there, as you can imagine, hard to play against. 5 points from 4. Rotherham could have 9 points, couldn't they, if they'd managed to get over the line in those 2 draws there. Stoke, that's a slow start from them. Brentford, the same. Preston, maybe they pick up now. Cardiff will irk it out. Norwich is your surprise there. 17th. Norwich, 1 point from the last 3 games for the Canaries. Coventry, they'll be happy if they're anywhere above there, weren't they? Huddersfield, 4 points from the last two, starting to get going as a Derby who got their first win. Barnsley is worrying. Forest, well, that's just an aberration. 4 defeats on the trot for a team that, well, should have finished in the playoffs last season, shouldn't they? Wycombe, we're worried about. 0 goals for, 10 against. That is an atrocious start from Wycombe. Sheffield Wednesday, -7 still. But in the grand scheme of things, because there are 2 teams who have lost all 4 of their games, Sheffield Wednesday are essentially 7 points from safety with 42 games to go. So that's how it would need to be thought of, I think. We'll go to some Q&A in a minute. I'm just going to bring up, because I find it fun on here, some of the top players. Our top scorer is still Adam Armstrong. He did not score this week. You see on the right-hand side there. 5 for Armstrong, 3 for Johnson. Ivan Toney and Matt Godden, both playing in League One last year, are in 3rd and 4th. Sinclair a couple today. Only other mover there would be Andy Vyman down the bottom. But 3 strikers there in the top 4 now starting to work it out. Good to see Toney and Godden having a look. And my other favourite stat is big chances created. There's still Jake Bidwell. Look, I told you Josh De Silva would be up there. So Bidwell, De Silva and Cornick, and Chris Martin as well is being a bit of an assist guru this season. Izzy Brown can do it for you, can't he? So can Luke Freeman. I just suspect Izzy Brown will be on the pitch less than Luke Freeman this season. Let me know, who's your team of the week this season? Let me give you some suggestions. If we bring up the round, I'll give you my views quickly. Team of the week. Well, Derby with the Ram Raid, perhaps. Reading and Bristol City would be both within a good shout there, winning tricky games there to go 4 for 4. Luton winning again. Swansea. Maybe Preston. So I think I'm between Derby, Preston, and our top 2. Maybe I think I'd go for Preston. Right. Should we do some Q&A quickly before we get off? I think I've answered that one. Lewis asked an interesting question. Was Rooney vocal on the pitch or any other Derby players like Shinnie or Davis? I could hear everything. Absolutely everything. Rooney was not vocal on the pitch, surprisingly. Curtis Davis was massively vocally. And the one you'll be interested in, Lewis, was Liam Rossinia. Does a lot in terms of instructions and motivating and things of that nature. So really nice to see that. Obviously, people like Tim Krul, Ben Gibson actually straight away were very vocal for Norwich. Emi Buendia is mental. We've all played 5-a-side with that guy who's just a bit crazy and he's screaming when he gives the ball away and when someone else gives the ball away. He's a brilliant player, Buendia. I have to say, watching up close with no crowd, you really notice the players with the best technique, and Rooney would be one of them, just with the first touch, just always spotless. And Buendia is a superb player. He's crazy, but he's a superb player. And he had quite the fit after he got substituted. Do you think Bristol will keep up this form or not? Well, look, don't call them Bristol for a start, else you get in trouble with all the Bristol City fans. Obviously, they won't keep up the form of 4 wins on the trot. But look at it. Who is more consistent at the moment than Bristol City? They've got a solid system. They've got a lot of players who've been there a long while. Chris Martin has come in and made a big difference. So the signing have worked. They've got Callister come back. They look in a really good spot, Bristol City at the moment. Of course, they're not going to, keep scoring 3 points per game. But we know you don't need 3 points a game to get up and out of this division, do you? So, look, ask me after 10 games, but brilliant start. Absolutely brilliant start. Shane mentions Victor Gyökeres. We will be doing a roundup later. Reading signed Alpha Semedo from Benfica. Interesting, wasn't he at Forest? Look, we're going to do a transfer roundup as well, Shane, on Gyökeres. We'll do a transfer roundup tomorrow. Coventry strikers ripping it up in the Prem. Adam Armstrong first and Godden fourth. Interesting. Preston for team of the week, Bristol City. How did I get in the ground, Nick? I managed to get accreditation, so I was in the press box. Very lucky to be there. Preston for team of the week, Reading team of the week. Adoma into QPR tomorrow. Willock and Green close. Do you think anyone will break Reading's 106-point record anytime soon? No, that is a hell of a record. Yes, I know about Eliasson. We'll talk about that. Elliot says, if we could take our big chances, we wouldn't need the long shots. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really enjoying watching Bournemouth. Give me back heels and rasping 30-yarders every week. I'm just saying, good teams score tap-ins, and you cannot rely on worldies every week. But if it's the start for Jason Tindall to bed things down, and that's what they base it off, that they've got better quality than other teams, then great. Do you feel you were wrong about the Bournemouth prediction? At the moment, yes, obviously. I predicted that Bournemouth would struggle to cope with the chaos of Eddie Howe going, and maybe Josh King and David Brooks, and obviously Ake went, and Ramsdale went. There was another as well, weren't there? But they seem to be handling it really, really well. So I'm very impressed with Bournemouth so far. And yes, I do feel like I'm going to be quite badly wrong about that. I had them down in 14th. I thought they would be the one. There's always one, isn't there? They would be the one that didn't match up. Never forget that Matt Smith nutmegged Rooney. Put a picture on your wall. Ben Rama wanting 16 million in wages. What's your source for that, Rick? I'd like to know. 16 million? That's like Cristiano Ronaldo wages, isn't it? God. Semedo was at Forest. Okay. Interesting. Jonathan's here. Excellent. Forgot about this league. For how long will you be following Leeds? As they won't ever be coming back down. Look, we'll keep the Dearly Departed going, Jonathan. Dearly Departed it's like Fight Club. The only rule of Dearly Departed is that you don't talk about Dearly Departed. We'll keep it going. I doubt there'll ever be more than 5 or 6 teams, because we know that teams that go up will inevitably come back down. So there we go. Wycombe vs Millwall on the 17th. Could you get accreditation for that one? I think I've already made an application in for Luton Stoke on that weekend. So there we go. Tarab used to nutmeg everybody. Of course he did. Lamucci is going. Yeah, I've seen Ricardo Sapinto links today. Oh, Forest. Oh, dear. I thought they had it nice and stable and everything was going to be lovely for them there. There we go. Right. Thank you so much. Really, really enjoyed that. We went through nice, slow pace today. Thank you to the super chatters for the support. As ever, you can super chat. There's the Amazon page as well, and the Patreon. My behind the scenes at Norwich yesterday is up already on the Patreon. Get your ideas in for shows. We have now got the international break coming up. I will likely do watch-alongs of the England games, which will be on Thursday the 8th against Wales. They will be on Sunday the 11th against Belgium. And then Wednesday the 14th against Denmark. And then we're back into our groove. So let me know what you want to see from me in the next couple of weeks. I don't just want to put stuff out for the sake of putting it out. I may well try and get accreditation to get to a League One game on Saturday the 10th. Although there's weird stuff going on with Ipswich's game where it's now Blackpool after Charlton cancelled their game. You know, they're doing all sorts of stuff. Let me know if you want a shout out. We'll do it right now. We'll say thank you to QPR. Thank you to Lee, John, Tom, Alex, who's missing Top Gear, Leeds 2020 there. Thank you, everyone, for your support. I'm going to be back tomorrow. So the plan is tomorrow we'll get Dearly Departed done. Very much looking forward to talking about Leeds versus Man City and Aston Villa, Liverpool, which you might catch 5 minutes of now after I've finished it. Yes, the football quiz. Let me make a note of that. We are definitely doing that. That's going to be huge fun. We'll see when a good time is to get most of you there. Thank you to Nathan. Thank you to David. I am going to bid you all farewell. So thank you one more time. This has been the Championship Game Week 4 live stream. Get in the comments if you're watching after the fact. Thank you to all of the people that joined me. Again, more streams with other YouTubers. Yeah, sounds good. Fight Club. Yeah, there you go. Villa winning 4-1. Yeah, some comedy stuff going on. Thanks to Alex. Thanks to Ashley. Get involved tomorrow with the dearly departed stuff. And I will see you all then. So from me, big thank you for watching. And it is over and out.